Hello there, I'm Stuart Goldsmith. This is my guide to the basics of podcasting. The exciting thing about podcasting is that you can do it from the safety and security of your own house, often your own bedroom. I actually do the blurbs for my show, The Comedian's Comedian. I interview comics in depth about their writing process, and I do that in a variety of locations, ideally convenient ones. And then the interstitial sections, the blurbs where I talk directly to the listener, I used to record them under the duvet. In my bed because the sound quality is really good. So one of the most exciting things about podcasting is it is completely guerrilla. You can do it wherever you are. I've recorded things in an airport bathroom. I've recorded things wandering around the street in Auckland, and I've interviewed people in their offices, their places of work, backstage at gigs, and Paul Sinner I interviewed in his car because that's where he does his writing. Probably the biggest challenge when you start podcasting is getting, if you're not a techie person, which I'm not at all, is understanding how to get some recorded audio, which will be in probably an MP3 file or a WAV file if you want it to be really huge and chunky and have loads of depth. And all of this information I only understand barely myself. So my advice would be to find a nerd. Try and find someone who understands RSS feeds and who understands the internet and who knows what FeedBurner is. Talk to people and say, hey, do you know what FeedBurner is? And if they know what FeedBurner is, tackle them and say, make me put a podcast online, make it happen for me. I try to research my guest. I think it is flattering to a guest to know that you're interested in their life. And also, it's not just about flattering actually, it's probably anyone that you interview, unless you're doing something very specialised, will have already undergone maybe several hundred or thousand interviews. So you really don't want to be, like they will have gone through an awful lot of interviews where someone is reading things off a bit of paper going, what's your best thing, what's your least favourite thing? And they're tedious, frankly. I've done lots of those interviews myself. I've been interviewed like that myself. And if you can be a bit more alive and sparky and in the moment and have an actual conversation with them, and then crucially follow where that conversation goes, follow the journey of that conversation, then you will not only have something more interesting, but also you will make them relax because they'll go, oh, this person actually cares. When it comes to podcast promotion, no one knows. And if anyone tells you they know, they're lying because they want to make money off you. Podcasting in the UK is the Wild West. It's uncharted territory. Most people, the man in the street, we're sitting in the back of a van here at the Edinburgh Festival, and of the maybe 50 people I can see out of the window, probably 5 of them even know what a podcast is. So it's this hugely uncharted territory, and it's up to you to discover how to promote your show. Have a think about it, try and use your initiative, and try and come up with a thing that isn't currently being done. The 3 podcasts I listen to most regularly are Adam Buxton, of course. He's, for all Gervais was calling himself the Podfather, Buxton's been, he sort of deserves to share that title. So Adam Buxton does a new show called Adam Buxton's Podcast. And I would also recommend Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, which are huge. That's a really good exploration of the form because he does enormous sweeping 3.5-hour episodes about aspects of history that you won't know about. And every time he puts something in quotes, he shouts it, and that makes me laugh. So that one's very good. And another one might be, I'll name 2 more. The Scummy Mummies podcast, which I enjoy enormously. That's all about parents admitting what terrible parents they are. And also Brian Lacey's Stand-Up Throwdown podcast, in which he interviews comedians and mixed martial arts fighters. So those are, they give you some idea of the breadth of what you can talk about. Find something you genuinely care about, because there's a lot of bandwidth issues you've got to learn about, and there's a lot of uploading and downloading, and it's a pain. But once you get your head around the idea that you can create a thing in your bedroom, put it online, and 2 days later someone in New Zealand can send you an email saying, I really enjoyed that, I've got all my mates around listening to it, your tiny mind will burst and you'll think, oh my God, the entire world is out there for me. How lucky we are to be living now.